The Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer is full of classic maps and some new maps as well. Now some of these maps are really popular and players love them, whilst others are actually really unpopular and players just leave a game as soon as they find out that they're in a match with this map. And with the arrival of Season 3, I do believe that there's no better time to actually look at the best maps within Modern Warfare 2. Now of course a lot of this really is personal preference, but some maps do really offer some bad gameplay, and that's seen across the board by most players. But in this video, I'm going to be going over my personal favourite maps within the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. Now, I am actually going to quickly cover the new Season 3 maps. I'm not going to include them in this since I just haven't been able to play on them for long enough since, you know, the season just released. But I'm going to go over my favourite maps from Season 1 and Season 2, and obviously the maps that we got on the release of the game. I won't really be looking at the ones I don't like since I don't really think there's much need to comment on all of those. I'm just going to be focusing on the best maps, and I may do a video going over the worst maps within Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer if that's something you guys would like to see. But either way, we'll look at the best maps within the game in this video. So let's waste no more time and let's get straight into it. So first of all, there are 3 new maps with Season 3, and I'll quickly cover those now. So we do have Albor and Hatchery. So this is a map featured in the game, and it is a classic 6v6 core multiplayer map. And yeah, this is new within Season 3, and it is a medium-sized map within the game, and generally speaking, it's a pretty standard map really, but I'm not really going to comment too much on them since I just haven't played on them enough yet. But then there is also Black Gold. That's a new map. That's a 6v6 core map as well. This is actually located within the United Republic of Adao, and this is also a medium map type as well. And then there is Paleo's Lighthouse. This is new with Season 3, another 6v6 core map located in Spain, and yeah, this is also a medium map type as well. So those are the new maps within Season 3. Now Season 3, yeah, it just arrived, so I don't want to include them in the list, but I did just want to comment on those, and that those are new. So if you do come across those, just remember they are brand new with this new season. Now I have actually done a video where I go over absolutely everything that arrived with Modern Warfare 2 Season 3. A link to that video is in the description, and I'll link it at the end of this video as well. But now let's get into the best maps within the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. So I'm going to start things off with a simple and a classic one that absolutely everyone knows if you've played any Call of Duty ever, and that is Shipment. Now I actually love Shipment. Now Shipment is a very small map within the game. It's a very fast-paced map as well. Now this is actually still a 6v6 core multiplayer map, even though it is actually very small. Now I love this map. I think it is a great map. I personally prefer the gameplay when it is fast-paced. Even if I do die a lot, I still feel that I get more kills, and it's just more fast-paced and a much more enjoyable experience. I'm not going to wait a little while before I'm actually able to run into any players. You know, every corner I turn, there's someone there for me to try and take out, or of course, you know, at the same time, every corner I turn, I could be dying, and it isn't a very enjoyable experience when skill-based matchmaking has sort of, you know, screwed me over, and I'm in a lobby where I'm getting absolutely destroyed. But on the other hand, you know, when I'm in a lobby when, you know, I feel like I can actually compete, it is a very fun experience, and personally my favorite map within the game, to be honest, when it does work well. But at the same time, obviously, it can be one of the worst as well, but it's definitely, in my opinion, one of the best. Now there are 5 hardpoint rotations in this map, those being center, bridge side, container stack, drug stash, and bridge side. Those are all within this, so those are, yeah, the 5 hardpoint locations, and this was released with Season 1 within the game, and generally speaking will always be a well-known map within Call of Duty. It always has been, I think it always will be, to be honest. Now this map doesn't really feature much in terms of locations or anything like that. It's located within the international waters, but there's really not much to it at all. This is a map located on top of a cargo ship, and there's just a couple, you know, containers on this map that you can go into. Some of them you can't go into, some of them you can, and there's just a couple obstacles around the map as well. But generally speaking, it's just a fairly open area where you are able to engage in lots and lots of combat due to it being so small. So one of my next personal favorite maps within Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer is actually Farm 18. Now this is also a 6v6 core map, just like all of these maps actually, and this is obviously a much larger map than obviously Shipments. This was released right at the start of the game at launch. This isn't part of any season. This was just there at launch on October 28th, and this actually has 8 hardpoint locations, and those being shoot house, shooting range, mechanic shop, operations building, mess hall, training course, dormitory, and cement hopper. There are lots of different hardpoint locations, and I really do think this map has quite a lot of variety to it. You know, at one corner of the map it just feels completely different to the other corner. There's lots going on, lots of different buildings to go into, lots of places to climb on top of, and it does really vary. For example, one side of the map is sort of a maze, whilst the other side of the map feels very open, and in the middle you've got a big area, a big building that you can go into. I really think this map varies, keeping it very entertaining throughout the entire 6v6 match. This map is an overgrown cement factory which hides a training facility in plain sight. Really cool map, and I really do enjoy using it. So for me personally, it's easy to put Farm 18 in the list of the best maps within the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. So let's move on and let's look at Mercado Las Almas. And this is definitely one of my favorite maps within the game, and this is also a 6v6 map, yeah, like I mentioned, for all of these. And this actually has 7 hardpoint rotations, so 1 less than Farm 18, but still quite a few, to be honest. Those locations being the Market Center, Cantina, Elephant Room, Barbershop, Patio, Cantina, second floor, and the parking. Now, I also think this map is pretty similar to Farm 18 in that it has a lot of variation with it. One side of the map is pretty closed off, and also in the center of the map, it's a pretty closed area, with there being the market in the center, quite, you know, a high area in terms of where players tend to be. And then on the left side of the map, you've got quite an open space, with there being just a parking area, and then there being a building you can go into, but that being quite an open building, so a pretty open area there, a place where, you know, you tend to get people with snipers, and then in the center is where everyone just goes if you're hungry for kills. So a pretty cool map, quite a lot of variety to it, and a pretty straightforward map as well, and I think it looks nice as well. This is a vibrant market in the center of conflict between local authorities and foot soldiers of the Las Almas cartel. Pretty cool map, and I really do enjoy using that one too. So let's move on, let's look at the hydroelectric map. Now, this was a map that actually also came at launch with Modern Warfare 2, like quite a few of these actually. Now, this map is a bit different to the others in that it doesn't really feel different throughout it. The entire map is pretty similar, it all feels fairly similar. Now, there's not really much going on, to be honest, there's just quite a few stone walls and everything like that, but there is one really cool feature which is really good for rotations, and that is being able to go underwater and swim to certain areas. A really cool feature that I tend to use quite a lot, to be able to get to different locations, particularly when it is hardpoints and everything like that, which brings us on to the hardpoint locations. Now, interestingly, this is one of the much bigger maps in the game, yet there are actually fewer hardpoint rotation locations. There's actually only 5, which is the same as Shipment, so those being mid-entryway, ruins, control room, trail, and the generator building. All of those are the only 5 hardpoint rotations that you can access within the game, and the only ones used within matches. Pretty interesting though that it is a massive map, but there's only those 5. Now, this is probably mainly due to there being quite a lot of water within this map. You can't really have a hardpoint on water, that wouldn't really work that well, but a pretty cool one. I really do like this map, particularly just for being able to rotate easily by being able to go underwater. Works really well. There's lots of water within this map, so if you don't like water, then obviously you're going to hate using this map within Modern Warfare 2 if you don't like the swimming mechanics, but I personally think they work quite well, and it can be a good way to get a few kills. So yeah, I really like this map. So now we're on to the final best map within Modern Warfare 2, and this was a map also available at launch on October 28th, and this is Embassy, a smaller map within the game actually. This map also has 5 hardpoint rotations, those being courtyard, parking, servers, administration, and cafeteria. There's not loads and loads of areas within this map, it's just 2 big buildings, and then of course you have all the open areas around the edges of the map. Pretty simple map, to be honest, in terms of locations. The 2 buildings have a little bit in them, there's a couple windows for sniping and just things like that, but generally speaking it's a fairly open map, to be honest, in my opinion, especially when you're going around the edge of the map. It can be harder to get kills, but at the same time it is pretty open, so you know, you can really mix those 2 things together and say it's very similar to the others. But I really like this map. I think it's a clean map, I think the buildings work well, and I think it's great for rotations and really strong for game modes such as Team Deathmatch. That's where I think this map really thrives. But either way, that does just about wrap up things here. Those are my personal favorite maps within the game, what I would consider the best maps within the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. Now, I have no doubt that there's going to be quite a few of you that disagree with me, since everyone's going to have their personal preferences when it comes to these maps. So in the comments below, let me know what your favorite maps are within the Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. I'd love to hear those thoughts, and I will definitely look at all of those comments. But that does just about wrap up things here. Now, I have actually done a video, like I mentioned earlier, going over everything part of the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Season 3. I think that video is on the screen now if you're interested in watching it.